Salutations everybody, Jonathan from GameSpot Asia here, and what we're gonna check out right now for our GameSpot plays is Final Fantasy XIII Part 2, or 13-2, or 13-2. Regardless of the title, we're gonna show you Square Enix's latest RPG. FF13 was met with divisive criticism. Some say it's a good throwback to basics, others are pretty vocal about its linearity and its 20+ hour tutorial. Well, based on my 8 to 10 hours experience on this import copy all the way from Taiwan, I'd say that Square Enix listened to the complaints and took them to heart. For one, the action ramps up right after the second hour or so. I mean, I'm already here at the Brescia Ruins like hour plus, give or take. Well, anyway, I don't mean the 19-minute intro cutscene battle which is on GameSpot a while ago. Like, you get to actually set up your party, your paradigm combat attributes, which monster you wish to be in your party, and figure out which attribute to level up. I mean, for Sarah, I prefer to use use the blaster and the enhancer and the jammer parameters, or even the healer. While for Noel, I use the attacker and the enhancer quite more often because I like to switch back and forth, you know. Oh, and defender as well because I like to think of him as more of the tank of the party. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So just like the first game, the paradigm shift system is back. If you hate it, well, too bad, because that's FF13's thing. You can switch your character's roles any way you want. Like, you want Noel to be a defender, while Sarah and the monster thing actually just attack from the side as blasters. Go ahead and switch it. Like, you gotta set it up with the left bumper or the L1, depending on which system you're playing. I'm playing on the Xbox 360 at the moment. I did mention monsters, right? You can actually recruit them as third-party members. Sarah or Noel will always be the first two, but when you switch paradigms, your monsters will switch, depending on which one to use for the 3 slots in the menu system. So right now I'm using, okay, I have no idea what it is. It has a ring thing, it's a small little guy. He's pretty good as a blaster. I mean, I also got a robot and a cat person named Kaichi. Kaichi's more of a healer, the robot thing is an attacker. So it really depends on your setup and how you build Noel and Sarah. I mean, they're customizable, so it's really up to you. It's like Burger King, have it your way, you know. What actually makes this installment kinda challenging combat-wise is blood damage. As you fight in battle, enemies can use some spells or whatnot to lower your max health bit by bit. So if you start from 1000 HP, like when you're in the middle of a fight, you can end up with just 500 max health if you're not careful. From there, you can't go higher than 500 hit points to heal up, and enemies who can deal more damage than that can be really big trouble for your side. So Square Enix's design method here is to actually make combat as fast and make you think which are the best paradigms for you to fight so that you can end combat as soon as possible before the boss can just kill you with just one hit. It's a bit of a challenge right there, but if you can't handle it, well, you can always just, you know, just put it on easy mode. I kinda did that for 1 or 2 of the boss fights, but I just want to show you some cool stuff, so you can't blame me, right? Right now, this one character, Alyssa, she's telling me that I can actually do something to this anomaly that's located somewhere along this map to weaken Atlas, a boss which I fought before. I mean, I'm gonna fight later on in this segment. Yeah, as you can tell, the music's a little bit hip-hop-ish, just like different styles. I mean, there's a chocobo death metal thing going on. I mean, right now when I'm at Brescia Ruins, they're playing this 90s thing, I don't know. So when you do live trigger events like that, you can choose which dialogue option you want. If you pick the correct ones, you actually get a reward at the end of each act or episode. So it really depends. And as you can see right now, that's the mob talk in effect. If you strike an enemy just before they touch you, you get the advantage. In this case, I don't think I did. It's yellow. When I hit an enemy when it's green, I actually get like a haste, automatic haste on my side. As usual, the combat music's pretty alright. I mean, you got some good beats going on, get used to the action, good flow. Oh, I should also talk about the synchro drive at the bottom. Apparently, like if any of your animal creature things, they actually get that at a high rate. If the bar is actually full, you can actually press X, you do a quick time event, and then do a special move. The special move varies. They can either shoot out lightning, raise up an enemy's stagger meter per FF13 standard rules, or just deal more damage than usual. Or just buff up your party. It really depends on your playstyle. By the way, if you're wondering, yeah, it's not just fighting all the way through like what you're seeing right now. There's also a bunch of puzzles and fetch quests and of course the time traveling. How could I ever forget the time traveling? I'll get back to that aspect as soon as we head to another stage. I mean, I gotta show you something really off the wall here. Hold on. That, ladies and gentlemen, is your shopkeeper, Chocolina. Apparently, I think she travels in time just like you do. That's why you see her everywhere, like pretty much everywhere, from the Brescia ruins to the ends of time to the Artrike Steep to maybe even some forest area. She's everywhere. She sells you stuff. I mean, it's nice. I mean, she sells you potions, elixirs, monster materials for you to level up your monsters, but she's everywhere. I did recall one of the artists I interviewed, like a roundtable thing we did with the journalists in Japan. He did mention that Chocolina was supposed to be a waitress for the casino level in the game, but the producers liked her so much that she's, well, integrated into the whole game. I mean, she's got her own backstory and everything if you keep on going through the game. So yeah, your Baker Showgirl time-traveling weapon stealer, Chocolina. Okay, we are right now at AF200. Somewhere in the future. I think I met up with Hope and then travel into some godforsaken area. I think this area might be familiar if you played FF13. Yes, I did recall the stage being covered in snow at one point. So yeah, here I am in battle again, fighting off a bunch of creatures in this god knows what forsaken plain area. Yeah, bats and crawling arms that can actually do ground pound attacks when they're together, so I suggest when you fight these guys you go for the hands first, so that they don't do a team up attack. I'm not sure if I pull off, synchronized attacks here. But yeah, it's pretty fun to watch. You get people watching this game while you're playing yourself, you know? Pretty cool spectacles and everything. And the whole blood damage and language paradigms in useful combat, that adds a whole good bit of challenge, let's just say that. Oh, interesting thing to point out, AKB48 member Yuko Oshima, she loved the game a lot that she decided to design two concepts for Sarah's DLC costume for the game. One was styled in the Red Riding Hood fashion, outfit thing, while the other was dubbed Exposure and Defense, which looked like a dark palette version of a marching band outfit, if it was for FHM. Naturally, the Exposure and Defense costume won, and Yuko had to wear it for as a costume for the launch event in Japan on December 15. Yeah, I bet she was pretty cold in that outfit, feeling pretty cold, because it looks pretty skimpy to be honest. But hey, anything for the fans, right? Alright, so the next bit is gonna be one of those bits where you have to sync the timeline in a particular area so you can get through the portals. Now this particular puzzle, if I recall, you're supposed to align it's connect the dots basically. Yep, Square Enix is making us connect the dots. That's a puzzle right there. Bravo, bravo. So as you can see, that's a rough guideline on where the lines are supposed to be, but in reality you're supposed to connect whichever stone is glowing first, connect two of the same colored stones. And this is the part where I was struggling what the hell was going on, so keep in mind this is actually my first time playing it, so I look a little confused, but I managed to get through it in the end, after 10-15 minutes. God, I'm slow. So recently there was also a poll on the Japanese Xbox site, getting fans to vote your favorite characters in FF13. Unsurprisingly, Lightning came up first because she's cool and she has that badass attitude, I suppose. My favorite character from the game, Saz, he only came in 3rd place. 2nd place was Hope. Yeah, that whiny little guy. But then again, he's got some good points. Like, for him, it's like a growing experience from being a whiner to try and stab Snow or something later on in FF13, and then he kind of grew up in a sense, but still. Well, at least Vanille is at the bottom. She's pretty annoying, and the consensus seems to agree on that valid point. Yeah, just restarting the puzzle over and over again. Yeah, the soundtrack's pretty rad and kind of odd at the same time. I mean, I know I've said it once before, but yeah, just listen to it when you get the chance. Just go to Square Enix's site, check out the samples, and you'll know what I mean, or hear what I mean in this case. Yep, still a bit lost at this point in time, but I got the gist of it later on. Yeah. Yeah, green goes to green, come on. Yellow goes to yellow, come on, past John. Yeah, my past self isn't that good at these kind of puzzles. What are you gonna do? And yeah, whenever the time resets, you kinda have to do the puzzle all over again. Despite all my rage, I'm still just a rat in a cage. Or, in this case, a rat in space on a bunch of platforms with some constellations, made up constellations and stuff. Alright, getting there, John. Okay, cool. There you go. Right. Yeah, they'll keep flashing annoyingly like once or twice, and then there you go. Alright, one more. Let's go. Alright, awesome. Good job, past Jonathan. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, let's jump forward in time to a boss fight with Caius. Yeah, you gotta dig those transitional effects. So anyway, Caius is this bad guy who hounds lightning in the well. He's like the ultimate evil in the game, according to the producers. He's like the guardian of time person and will deal with any threat that would damage the current timeline by any means necessary. And by that, I mean he transformed into a robotic dragon, chases people down, and, well, carries a big ass white sword that probably looks more like a feather from some extinct endangered bird. Yeah, the whole logic of FF sometimes astounds people. Normally blood damage would actually cripple me in this fight, but I actually put it to easy because I wanted to see this through to the end, you know, just so that I can show you guys like the levels in the previews or whatnot, or extra vids. Trust me, this game gets pretty tough in the boss fights. And if you notice, my little pet monsters have like little hats that they wear like during combat. That's because like there's this whole customizability thing. You can change their appearance like just a smidgen, like make them wear like a medal, or just put on the top hat, the bowling pin hat, or you know, a little crystal on this cat kites its head, you know. Kinda cute. And I'm not doing too well in this fight. So for this battle, the safest way for me is to start off with Attacker, Blaster and the Jammer combination. Then when my health is low, I change back to my Enhancer, Healer paradigm shift, so that I could buff up my party. The Jammer is so that you can actually put blood damage onto Caius and actually take away all of his buffs, because he'll do this one move in the middle of a battle where he buffs up his entire stats. And that regenerating thing he has is pretty annoying, so hence you need a Jammer for this fight. This is probably the only part of the game where the music gets more dramatic and orchestral. Like the rest of the boss fights are more rockish, they're more techno, some weird thing, you know, going on. And for some reason I paused the fight. Yeah, I was actually a bit panicky when I was fighting this dude. Of course, do expect to fight this guy again and again, but I'm not gonna say when though, so. That power wave move he does, yeah, that hits me pretty hard, especially when it hits my little creature, because yeah, my little helper, he's got really low hit points. I actually didn't buff him up that well. I was actually buffing up Sarah and Noel more. They're fine, it's just that you need your third party member a lot, especially if they're in sync as a team, as a paradigm group. Oh, and probably the best part is you can actually, when you feel like you're at the losing end of the battle, you can always restart the fight, and you start off at the point before you actually confront the boss, so you can set out your paradigms and whatnot before you fight. So always plan ahead. Planning ahead is always good in life, so planning ahead for FF13-2, good too. I do have to confess that the story was kind of confusing. I mean, FF13's original story, with the sea and the falsy terms thrown left and right. I do hope Square Enix address this problem, you know, like make FF13-2's story a little clearer, clear as crystal. I mean, when you add in time traveling to the mix, that's already confusing enough, you know. Some plot holes might emerge, so hopefully they've done their homework. Yeah, he's doing that purple power wave thing again. And that gets pretty annoying. Yeah, most boss fights I've faced so far in the game, I'm already like 5, 6, 7 hours in. Yeah, they stretch on pretty long, especially if you do not have the correct paradigms. So it pays to actually just travel around on the Historia Crux, and then collect whatever monsters you need or want, just grind. There's no shame in grinding, come on, it's an RPG. You're supposed to grind anyway, so. I've also checked out, I mean, like back in TGS, I checked out the English voice build, and I must say, it's Square Enix has always been top notch in the voice acting department in English, so don't be a hater. I think I'm close to killing him soon. Yeah, poison him. I don't know. Standard rules to apply, just try your best to stagger the boss as much as possible before he staggers you. And it's pretty important sometimes that when you're in the middle of an attack animation, you can just cancel it and initiate another attack straight away, so you can continue to juggle or continue to chain, so you can leave your opponent vulnerable while in a staggered state. Very important. It takes practice knowing when to stagger or when to actually juggle, but it takes practice, you know, depending which attack you choose. Yep, doing some fancy attacks there, and the bird with the hat is, yeah. I like his special attack where he just grows big and then sits on your opponent. That's, yeah, pretty much my favorite monster synchronizing attack at the moment. Really cool. There we go, and it's in motion. Oh no, it's not. No, I'm using the plant monster to actually do a poison attack. And I think I'm pretty close to killing him right now. So yeah, that's FF13-2 at a glance. Solid stuff, major improvement over its prequel in terms of flow and scope. It's splendid enough to take gamers' minds off the recent Square Enix account hacks. Look forward to the English version of the title for Xbox 360 and PS3 on January 31st. See you soon, Space Cowboys and Cowgirls!